Stay informed with the latest on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Here are the top updates you need to know. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban continues to present himself as a potential mediator to end the war in Ukraine, despite Russian President Vladimir Putin's rejection of mediation or serious negotiations. Orban published an op-ed in Newsweek accusing NATO of choosing conflict over peace and visited Kyiv and Moscow to advocate for negotiations. Orban's efforts are likely part of his broader aim to shift European focus from military support for Ukraine to peace negotiations. This aligns with his consistent opposition to the European Union's military assistance to Ukraine, especially now that Hungary has assumed the European Union Council presidency. Ukrainian forces conducted drone strikes on energy infrastructure in Krasnodar Krai on the night of July 5th to 6th. The Krasnodar Krai operational headquarters reported that Russian forces shot down Ukrainian drones near Leningradskaya, Yeysk, and Pavlovskaya. Falling drone debris damaged a cell phone tower in Yeysk and caused a fire at an oil depot in Pavlovskaya. Ukrainian drones also struck a fuel tank in Leningradskaya. Russian opposition outlet Ostra posted footage of fires at fuel tanks in Leningradskaya and the Lukoil oil depot in Pavlovskaya, illustrating the ongoing impact of Ukrainian drone operations. On July 6th, Iran announced that it signed a bank agreement with Russia on July 4th, enabling the two countries to trade in their respective currencies, the Russian ruble and the Iranian rial. This agreement includes a memorandum of understanding on unspecified joint measures for both banks, signed by Iranian central bank head Mohammad Reza Farzin and Russian central bank head Elvira Nabiullina. This development represents a further deepening of economic ties between Iran and Russia, both of which are under significant Western sanctions, and is part of their broader efforts to circumvent these sanctions through mutual economic cooperation. The Russian government continues its efforts to isolate its citizens from materials considered antithetical to state interests. On July 4th, the Russian federal censor Roskomnadzor announced it blocked access to 25 mobile VPN services. Additionally, the Russian Federal Security Service demanded that telecom operators prohibit clients from using VoIP accounts, which are harder to trace, and allow phone calls via an internet connection. These measures are part of ongoing efforts to consolidate control over the Russian information space and promote Russian nationalist values domestically, while also attempting to reduce fraud. Ukrainian forces struck a Russian military camp along the coastline southwest of Orzhov, inflicting unspecified personnel casualties, according to Ukrainian Mariupol mayoral advisor Petro Andriushchenko. This strike occurred between the occupied Mariupol in Donetsk Oblast and Berdyansk in Zaporizhia Oblast. Additionally, Russian forces continued ground assaults near Robotyne, Novodanilivka, and Verbove in western Zaporizhia Oblast, and in the east bank of Kherson Oblast near Kozachi Laheri, and on the islands in the Dnipro River. These engagements highlight the ongoing intense conflict across multiple fronts in southern Ukraine. Russian forces recently advanced southeast of Kupiansk, amid ongoing fighting along the Kupiansk-Svatove-Kremina line. Geolocated footage published on July 6th indicates a marginal advance east of Pishchan during a reinforced platoon-sized mechanized assault. However, dense Ukrainian minefields and artillery fire prevented further advancement. Russian forces also continued assaults northeast of Kupiansk, near Sinkivka, southeast near Stelmakivka, and southwest of Svatove near Nevske, Makiivka, and Hrekivka. These operations reflect Russia's persistent efforts to gain ground in eastern Ukraine, despite facing substantial Ukrainian resistance. Russian forces continued offensive operations in Donetsk Oblast, advancing southeast of Siversk, and raising a flag within central Spirne. While one mill blogger claimed complete control of Spirne, others reported that Ukrainian forces still hold positions there. Additionally, Russian forces attacked near Chasiv Yar, attempting to establish positions along the east bank of the Seversky Donets-Donbas Canal. Elements of the Russian 98th Airborne Division and 11th VDV Brigade continue fighting in eastern Chasiv Yar. These operations underscore the ongoing fierce battles for control in the strategically significant Donetsk region.